We are on air and I didn't even know it. That's the first time in 19 years. So welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited about bringing on my first guest because I did not know that even something like you existed. I have with me Adrianne Bryant, and she is the owner of All DUI Services. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. You've been here before, but we're going to go really deep on this right now. And one thing I want to talk about is a little bit about what you do, and then I want to go further from there. I know exactly what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
So we are All DUI Services, and we assist clients with the process of being compliant with MVD and court. Whether it be that their license is suspended, if it's revoked in state of Arizona or out of state, we assist clients with that. We provide DUI education and treatment, and then we also provide interlock services and traffic survival school. So we basically do everything that the client needs in order to be compliant with the court and with MVD.
So number one, the first thing is I said to you that I didn't know that people like you even existed and that they needed more than just an attorney. I just thought you got an attorney, you did you talked about it, you hired or not hired, and then you did your time,
Right.
and that was it.
Right.
But that's not the case,
No. Well, the attorneys are wonderful, and we work with a lot of attorneys here in
which
the
we're going to
Valley,
talk about.
and out of state. But what we do is we actually take that process a little bit further in regards to the compliance issues. So if they go to court and then they enter their plea agreement and they say you have to do DUI education and treatment, you have to do your screening, you have to put interlock in, those are those things that the attorney will actually assist with in regards to giving direction, but we actually initiate that work. So we are self-performing, we do all of those services in-house, and we are actually, I think, maybe one in the Valley that does everything that we do.
Yeah, and it's
Start
one
to finish, that's all. Yeah.
One call does it all.
That's it.
And that's your tagline,
Mm-hmm.
and all, ALL, stands for something.
It does.
What does it stand for?
Alcohol life lessons, right? And so a lot of times it might be alcohol, it could be substance, it could be gambling. Everyone has a vice, right? They have a thing that they go to in times of happiness, in times of sadness and frustration and stress. They lean to some type of vice, right? And so alcohol is one of those things. Substances are one of those things. And so there are lessons that come out of enduring through these challenges. And what we try to really focus on, especially when we get into our education component, is understanding the why. Why do we do this? Why, when I'm stressed out, do I lean to the glass? Or why, when I'm stressed out, I go shopping? Right? Why do I do these things? And these behaviors are things that we can either change, modify, or continue the same. But if we do, and we are in these predicaments of getting into some legal trouble, it could actually make things worse later, right? And so what we understand is what that process is. And we've personally, all of our team members, including myself, we have been impacted by all aspects of a DUI. Whether it be family members, loved ones that either were killed by an impaired driver or have been caught for impaired driving. So we have a good scale of understanding. And the thing is that no side of the DUI is any more or less important. Everybody's impacted. And so we see that ripple effect, and so it's how do people pick up those pieces and how do they go through this process? It's hard to navigate, very confusing. You don't know what you don't know. And having the guidance of an attorney and then someone to piggyback off of that like us actually helps eliminate a lot of the stress that people are going through at a challenging time in their life.
It is. And I said it the first time you were on. Good things happen. No, it's the wrong way. I said it wrong. Bad things happen to good people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
And it doesn't mean it doesn't matter even if you've had this problem and it's happened a couple of times.
Absolutely.
It does. It can happen still. And there's people out there that do suffer.
Absolutely. From some type of substance use.
Right.
And so we really focus on what is the journey for you? I saw a poster, and actually it was a saying on Instagram, and it said, people only see your decisions, not the choices that you had. So there are some times, and we have run into this with certain clients, where the choices that they had were to leave. Sometimes they didn't feel safe in the situation. Not to say that that was a reason to get in the car and drive impaired. I'm not saying that. But there are reasons why people do the things that they do. And it's for each individual to really understand, why did I do that?
The real
And is there a
reason
pattern?
is
Right.
if you're
Is there a pattern?
if you're impaired, it's not easy to make a good decision.
Sometimes it's not.
Right, and most of the time, that's probably
That's what
happens.
happens.
Okay,
Right.
now,
Right.
what I also want to talk about, and I do want to get something out, for instance, your information. I want people to either, write this down, put the number in your phone, whether it's for you or someone that you know. Like you said, we all may know somebody. They work with, both Spanish and English. Their phone number is 480-485-9185. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They do, you say, free evaluation compliance checks for people.
We do.
And you do that nationally. Who knew that you had to be compliant
Right.
with the courts?
And the thing is if you get
Well,
if
why
you
not?
have an active Arizona driver's license, say for instance someone gets a DUI in Arizona and they think, oh, I'm going to move to Chicago. MVD is part of a national database. So if you have license issues in Arizona that you have compliance issues to complete, and you're moving to another state, you cannot get a license in the other state. So until those compliance issues are met. So this is something they're going to find you. There is no way to remove yourself from getting away with this. So those are those challenges that we sometimes see where people are relocating.
So the phone number is 480-485-9185, and their website is all DUI Services.com. I want to come back over here with the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which was lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
We had an attorney here that was happened to be listening to the show that said they heard your ad and they went, oh, I heard of them before.
Mm-hmm.
Very important for attorneys out there. Maybe you know someone that is an attorney. Give them this information because you meld with them.
We do. We
Right.
do. We work. It's working congruently through this process. And so what we do, again, is just being that added resource for those attorneys and for the individuals who have, retained an attorney, and they can work through this process in lieu right alongside with their attorney in the court. We have clients that have an attorney and then they have a court date coming up, and so we're making sure that they're showing their compliance issues are being met or being addressed prior to their court date.
Well, one call does it all. And she would like that you know that this number is available to you for people who may have questions, people who, God forbid something happen, you've hired an attorney, there's other steps. And these steps are the ones that you need to take with them to help you not only get through the process, because you have to be compliant with the court, but also to maybe learn what happened, why did it happen?
That's right.
And maybe we can help with that as well. I think that's awesome. I love what you do. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Karen.
your services.
Thank you.
Her phone number again, it's 480-485-9185. Check her out. It's all DUI Services.com. Hang tight. We will be back in just a minute. Okay, we didn't do any of your questions yet.
That's okay. No.
Did you like it?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
We're going to keep on going in here because we are live in the room for the moment. Let me see. Okay, we talked a little bit about that. Again, I think it's really important for them to understand about compliant and what that means,
Mm-hmm.
because
we have two lines. We have the court compliance and then MVD compliance.
Yeah, that's two.
Right,
Okay,
right,
so
right.
court, and
And
MVD. Okay, there's 1 and 2 right there. That's something else to talk about too. And the process,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm gonna have to ask you this. I'm sure I'm sure the answer is what I think it is. Does everybody have to have, what do you call when they have to lock the interlock?
breathalyzer. Mm-hmm.
The breathalyzer?
Mm-hmm.
The
We call it
interlock.
interlock.
Interlock?
No. If
Okay.
it's a pill charge, there's sometimes that they don't. And then, but if it's impairment from alcohol standpoint, they will,
Yeah.
typically, unless they get it dropped down to a reckless.
Oh, and that all depends.
That all depends on what the judicial proceedings are. So
Mhm.
yeah,
But if they do need it,
we do that.
you know,
Yeah.
where do you go? You don't go on Amazon, do you?
No.
I'm gonna say
No.
that, okay?
I like
think
that.
that will be funny.
I like that.
Oh,
I like that.
yeah,
Uh-oh. There we go. I like
throw it
that.
back like that. There you go. Yeah, we have to talk about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because there's, if you need it,
Yeah. Well, the thing, yeah.
go ahead.
Well, my daughter had an interlock.
Okay. So,
So
she had to
years
buy
ago,
it.
before I even got into this industry.
yeah.
She got it.
So, my brother did. My brother.
Yeah.
I have a brother.
Yeah.
And I think 2 of his kids,
Yeah.
sometimes that's
It
the
happens.
case. Especially when they're out looking for it.
Yeah.
Because he was at a, what do you call it, a bar,
Mm-hmm.
and they were watching, and anybody that left, they had just followed him, and sure enough, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I think he had to do some jail time too on that,
Yeah.
And there's some things that happened that, I would piss in my pants if that happened to me, so I don't. And I stopped any kind of drinking until when my children started to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And my reasoning was because I didn't want
to show that behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
But I tell you something, they're the complete opposite. They do enjoy that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
okay, but what happened? Looks kind of early. So welcome back, everyone. You know what? I can't believe it. At the break, we're sitting here talking with Adrianne. She is the owner of All DUI Services, and here I am. We're talking about, I don't know these things, and I asked about how does everybody need an interlock, and you said what?
Not everybody. There are times that we've had clients that have gotten prescription medication DUIs, and they tend not to require an interlock device. If it is that somebody is impaired from alcohol, then they will require that device. And MVD and court make that determination of how long someone has to have the interlock in their vehicle.
And I said, well, where do you get that? Because you can't just buy it on Amazon, can you?
Right.
And you were laughing, because what did you say to that?
Absolutely not.
No, you
So,
can't go to
you
Amazon.
can. If you volunteer and you put a device in your car, they have those that you can buy off of Amazon and other locations. But in order to be compliant, it has to be an Arizona state approved ignition interlock provider.
Well, of course they have. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and then what happens is the interlock provider reports to MVD. MVD sees these, every incident real time, right? And so they have a monitoring facet that monitors real time these interlock devices that are in individuals' cars. And so we want to be mindful about that. I think the problem, I won't even say a problem, Carol, is that a lot of times people get frustrated because they have to go through this process. And what we remind people is you're having the unfortunate education that should be delivered to everyone. There are behaviors that we learn by having the interlock in our vehicles that circumvent us from being caught being impaired again, right? And so a lot of times what people don't know is if someone were to drink alcohol and go to bed and they wake up in the morning, you could get a DUI the next morning. And that is because alcohol lays dormant in your system while you're asleep. So the common knowledge is that if I were to drink and I wake up in the morning, I need to wait 12 hours at minimum before I get behind the wheel. People don't know that.
Where else but on Networking Arizona are you going to learn something
Right.
like that?
So people don't know that, and they wind up learning that because they have the ignition interlock in the car. So it actually changes behaviors. There's a lot of things. My daughter had a DUI, right? And so I remember before they had cameras with the interlock device, I would be in the car with her driving, and she was embarrassed and the shame and dropping her head down to test and then continue driving. And so when we got into this industry, I remember the challenges with having the interlock, the shame that people deal with, the frustration and the fear if they don't pass, right? And so all of these other things are implemented with this interlock device being in the car. And there's another level of stress and reminders that people are enduring through daily by having this apparatus in their vehicle. And the thing is that you just have to get to a point, and I tell clients, get to a point where you're accepting of this. There is a working knowledge and a change of behavior if you allow this to happen by accepting what it is that you did and then implementing change. And so those are the things that we do and that we remind people of with the interlock device. We see people every month, sometimes every couple of days, depending on what their financial status is in regards to being able to pay for their calibrations. But the thing is that take what the good is from this, right? And I remind people, if you have a DUI and you are outside these walls of not being in prison, you know, you're fortunate. You didn't kill someone, you're fortunate. There's a lot of things that could be worse. And I think a lot of times people forget because they're just emotionally distracted by what the end result is and not looking as deep as they could.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My ex-husband, his half-brother, they live in New York and New Jersey, and he had a twin. I think they were twins, I don't remember. And he was killed instantly by a kid who was driving a motorcycle. They were both on he was in a car and hit his son, and it just killed him instantly. And he was impaired, not with alcohol, but with marijuana.
Yes.
Okay, so there's other
facets.
Other facets.
It's not just alcohol. It's marijuana. It's prescription medication, chemotherapy medication, over-the-counter medication, NyQuil. If you have prescription medication that you take, don't have it on your person in the vehicle, because that is just a prompt to ask questions, right? And so these are the things that when we're doing our DUI education, it's making people aware of what the law is. Arizona is a zero tolerance state, which means you can't have anything. If people are on mental health medications, benzos, pain medication, sleep medication, all of that can come up as a metabolite in blood if they take your blood, right? And so we can voluntarily say that we agree to have our blood drawn if it's requested, or we can say no. If you say no to getting your blood taken, then it's an automatic suspension of 12 months. People don't know these things. And so a lot of times they learn these lessons on the back end.
Right,
after they've gotten in trouble. You know
now,
what I mean?
Compliant.
Yes.
You got to be compliant with the court, and you have to be compliant with the MVD. If you think you're just calling your attorney, you're not. There are other steps that you need to take. Now, your attorney might, obviously lead you down that road of where you need to go.
Correct.
And if you don't, if you're an attorney listening, please, this is the gal to get in touch with or to recommend for your clients, because number one, she's been doing this how long now?
We're on 5 years for traffic survival school, interlock 5 years.
Yeah.
All DUI Services was our tail end baby, and we've been about 3 years now.
Yeah, but you know what? What you're here to do is to help others.
Absolutely.
To help others get through this situation that you might have gotten yourself in, or someone that you know in.
Absolutely.
Okay, your son, your daughter, your grandchild. That happens. I mean, I don't care who it is. There are other things that they need to do, and this is the call. It's one call, that's all. Again, that phone number to call is 480-485-9185, both Spanish and English. We want to get to
Absolutely.
make sure you also know that. And they're rated with the Better Business Bureau. It's all DUI Services.com. Yeah, again, I didn't go to any of your questions
That's
that you
all right.
brought in today. But I think this is a great question. What should someone do immediately after being arrested for a DUI? What should they do?
So at times people ask, should I call an attorney? If you have the thought of calling an attorney, call an attorney, right? When my son, he was in a car accident and was doing all the right things, but was hit by someone, and he actually had cannabis in his system.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew immediately that I need to get on the phone with our attorney, right? And so those are things for you. And the attorneys are there. I don't speak as an attorney at all, nor do we represent that. But they are there as from a retainer or from a consultation. They are really good to reach out to. Once that happens, then you have your citation, you have your court date. The thing is to get in front of these things, because the process is eventually your license is going to be suspended for 90 days by MVD once that citation hits MVD's record on the driving license record. And then after that, those are where those compliance issues come in. So a lot of times MVD's precursor to court, because the judicial process takes a little bit longer, right? And so, but the immediate suspension through MVD is there, and then they have to have an alcohol screening, and that's where we start into the process.
Well, I'm telling you, so people probably sit there and think, if they haven't heard anything, because it takes time,
it's going to be all right.
It's
not
all
gonna
right.
happen.
It's not. Oh,
Absolutely
man,
not.
that's
Yeah.
what probably happens.
That's what happens.
A lot.
Mhm.
So people get like, oh my God, I thought that was just like gonna go
Absolutely.
away on its own,
Absolutely.
and it doesn't.
No. So we've had clients that have contacted us that had a DUI just a few days ago, and then they started getting everything in alignment through us, and they have completed education, they have completed their steps prior to their court date. So when they go in for their court date with their attorney or not, they can provide all of the completion certificates, and then that actually shows as a positive step that they're making without having
They're
to be
ahead
told
of
by
the
that
game.
they're ahead of the game.
I think
And
it's
so
awesome.
we assist individuals like that, and it eliminates that stress for people, because there's so many things that they have to do, and typically they have to, they're in contact with 4 to 5 providers for all of these services, and it could be just one, and
Well,
that's with us.
Just one.
Just one.
That's it. One call, that's all. Give them a call at 480-485-9185. It's all DUI Services.com.